Hi there, welcome to Dave in the Shed. I'm Dave and this is my little corner of the world, also known as the Shed Mahal. Now if you're into DIY, 3D printing and model trains, you've come to the right place. Now fair warning, I do things a little bit differently. I have cerebral palsy, which means sometimes things get a little bit creative around here, but hey, it just makes it more fun. So if you like making, fixing, and maybe even breaking things along the way, stick around. Hit that subscribe button and let's build something awesome together.
Down in the shed where the magic begins, Dave's got his tools, let the fun commence. 3D printing dreams, watch him come alive. With every little gadget, man, he starts to thrive. Blueprints in hand, technology so keen, building up the future like a crafty machine. Model trains rolling on a whimsical track. In this shed of wonder, there's no time to slack. Oh, Dave in the shed where the vibes stay high. Creating with passion, he's reaching for the sky. DIY master in a vibrant samba flow. Hope you enjoyed the video, let's get ready to go. Let's get ready to go.
Well, welcome to this Friday, Dave in the Shed. How you going? I don't know if you can hear it in the background, you probably can't. I apologise if there's lots of background noise because I'm running the diesel heater and all around me there are people who are out with gardening power tools and it's quite noisy. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but if you can, humbly apologise. Anyway, few updates for this week. Not all good news. And I'm still trying to get my head around what's going. But anyway, I have got the point motors in for the park gates, for what is hidden behind the park gates. There is 2 points here. These have been a bone of contention with me for a while because it was very hard to get in and operate and do bits and pieces. But anyway, I have mounted up 2 service mount Pico point motors, and those little toilets, little huts there, hide the point motors. And I got them all in and wired them all up to the point controller, and it wouldn't work. No matter what I fettled and tried and stuffed around with. I'll tell you what, if you haven't seen the hang on, there's one here, got a spare one here. So this is the point motor, the Pico PL10, which I've mounted on a Pico base underneath those huts, and that is under there, and they are a rather big, what they call a twin coil solenoid. Google if you want to know what I'm talking about. Where's another base? Anyway, there is another base in here. This is my bits, this thing. So they mount up on a base like that. Anyway, so they're underneath those huts, and I tried and tried and tried to get those points to work, and I couldn't. So what I decided to do, I went old school and had to go digging down out of the storage cupboard, and I found a old Australian built EDA supply, which is sitting on this shelf here. This is a temporary jury rig, so I've got an old power supply here rigged on the shelf, and I then tested the points and they worked. So I then set up my control panel, did it old school, running off 16 volt, and the points change. Have a look at this. So these buttons here operate the points, and I can come up here and bear witness, try and get the camera in. So doing it old school mechanically, it all works fine. Doing it new school via the DCC controller, it doesn't. I've got a theory. My theory is that these big, even though the instructions say that these should throw using that DCC solenoid controller, which is a capacity based. It's a capacitor CDC. I don't think that, and this is theory, you can let me know what you think, I don't think that my good old DigiCental DR500, which is only 3 amp output, I don't think it's coping with the new extended layout. I don't think that my DCC, my DR500, good old DigiCental, made by DigiKeys. Now, you can't get these anymore. DigiKeys went into receivership. They were made in Holland. I think it says manufactured in, anyway, in the Netherlands there or somewhere. Anyway, DigiKeys, there is another company who, York, anyway, we talked about this from previously. So I can't get, because the way would be to put a second DigiCentral in and boost the layout, split the layout into 2, which is something we might have to do. I'm thinking that we may be time that I need what they call a DCC booster, and I need to split the layout into 2. So the bottom portion of the layout is on the old DigiKeys, and then we need to buy a new booster to run on the top part of the layout. Because me adding all these points in is stretching the limits of what that power supply can chunk out. That is my theory. I've got to do some number crunching and some fault chasing and some bits and pieces. I may have to invest in a DCC booster. This is fine. Old school is fine. I have remote control via these buttons and bits and pieces. But I still would like to run the points from the handheld controller. Now, if we come across here, hang on, I might have to grab my remote. Something really strange happened to me, my wireless remote. The batteries went flat and it lost all its settings. I've never had that happen before. Normally you can quickly change the buttons. But anyway, over here, I've started to put in, I'll walk back, started to put in some cottages. So this is the layout for what the village will look like. So now bear with me, these cottages are waiting for assemble. I didn't print enough windows, would you believe? I've got to go back and do a run of windows. But anyway, this is what the cottages will roughly look like. Now, this cottage here has the point controller solenoid in it. I thought it'd be tricky, and so it's mounted in here, and this will run the points for the loop. Now, this is why I'm saying that I don't think I've got enough grunt to run. So even though the points down the bottom of the layout switch, some of the points up at this end of the layout don't. Now this is these, we looked at these last week, go back and look last week, they really are a fussy point to set up and control. They really are. Hang on, I've got to go and scroll back, have a look at this while I go and grab my other controller. We'll go wireless. So using the handheld, see this point here? It really is struggling. I can throw it using the remote. Quite funny is I haven't wired up this panel yet, and I keep pushing these buttons expecting the points to change, and they don't. So I've got to wire that up. And this set of points here, now I've ordered a couple more of these tabletop points in case I've knocked it round. But there's not enough energy to throw that point in the system. If I do it manually, bear with me, if I pull it across manually, it doesn't even close that point properly. If you see that it's not closed. So it can go, don't have enough grunt. So maybe need more grunt, even with, these are not big cable runs, they're meant to be capacitor, CDC, discharge unit. So let me know what you think. Is it because I need to buy a booster? And I pretty much think that's going to be my problem. I've had a discussion with the Minister of Finance because buying a booster and a power supply which will give this end of the layout is not cheap. So anyway, that's where we're up to. I'm really stuck. I don't know if I'm going to, because it's going to cost some money. Now the other option is I'm looking at options to run the gates and the bits and pieces. Hang on, well, the servo's dropped out. So the other option is I would like to be able to run off the control of the gates. Now I would have to buy DCC servo controllers. Now there's only one in the country, which is I'm umming and ahhing, struggling to cost. It's going to cost about, to actually run my gates off DCC, it's going to cost about 140. Now that's an 8-channel servo controller. I don't need 8 channels, I only need about 4. But they tell me the maximum you can run cabling to the servos is 2 meters, and you start to have hassle problems. And if I want to run my gates down here, and that gate up there off one extra controller, that's more than 2 meters. So I would have to install 2 servo controllers. Now they're about $140 each. So I would need $280 in servo controllers just to open and close gates. For me, that's XY dollars. So I am exploring solutions. Anyway, sorry, it's a bit of a rant, a bit of a complaint, but that is what's going on here from Dave in the shed. But anyway, short video. So next week there might be some big news. I may have spent money on a DCC booster. I may have to do it, people, to do all my future plans. Anyway, let me know what you think. Interested to pick your thoughts. Apart from enjoying playing with trains, that's where I'm up to. Oh, I do love this. I do love, hang on. I do love being able to run. Just got to check that we haven't, sorry, what's this? What do we want? We want Loco 6. It's already programmed. I do love being able to run up here and be able to run me Loco through and stand back. I actually had a disaster because I was playing silly peoples, and I ran right through the gate here, heading up to the gasworks. This track is extremely working to the gasworks. We may not get dirty, but look at that. Oh, stop, there's a gate, Dave. Don't go through the gate. Many years ago, people mightn't like this story, but I was actually on a light engine movement on a train, and it ran through a closed gate. Quite funny story. Probably one that we shouldn't discuss on the social media that happened. When the Loco crew were chatting in bits and pieces, and they were running a Loco into a depot, and yeah, we pranged the gate. Anyway, that is it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments? If you'd like to know, I'd like to pick your thoughts on the DCC. Is it time we went for a booster and split the layout into 2? So the lower section is running off the old 3 amp supply, and the ideal spot to divide the layout would be about right there. And on this top end of the layout we have a booster. I'm looking for solutions for how to operate servos off the DCC bus. If you've got any ideas, let me know. So here we go. Is it time? Anyway, that's it for this week. Now, don't forget, get out your shed, try something new. In the words of Henry Ford, you don't know what you can do, what you can't do till you try. Well, Henry Ford said if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you're right, which is very much like, yeah, your self-talk. Anyway, look after yourself, keep fit, keep well. Let me know what you're doing with your trains. Shout out, let me know, comments, bits and pieces, and we'll chat soon. So that's it for this week from Dave the Shed. Oh, have a look at this. I've been running the printers. Pretty mad. Got a little safe working hut down here. Safe working hut There, up here, this end of the thing, we will need what they call a landmark signal. We've discussed those, but I've got them printed. And I've got to rearrange one of the semaphores because the way the new loop is, the block working signal. This signal here is in the wrong spot. Anyway, that's my problem. That's my dramas. Talk to you later. See you, legends.